Here is the perfect balance, longer than the ultra-short version, yet still gripping, emotional, and concise enough to keep every viewer hooked from start to finish. Jennifer Walsh was never supposed to be here. A devoted 38-year-old nurse from Chicago, mother to a bright-eyed 12-year-old named Emily, living the quiet, respectable life everyone admired, until the night of March 15, 2018 turned her world to ash. A wealthy 73-year-old patient died under her care. The medication was wrong. The records named Jennifer as the last person to administer it. The security cameras mysteriously glitched at the exact minute everything happened. The jury called it too many coincidences. After only 4 hours of deliberation, the verdict came: guilty. Sentence: death. 6 long years followed, years of slammed doors, denied appeals, and a daughter growing up without her. Hope died slowly, then all at once. By October 2024, Jennifer had become a ghost in her own body, waiting for the end. Then came the Tuesday she'll never forget. Her lawyer sat across from her, eyes heavy with defeat. Final appeal denied. Execution date is set November 10th. 2 weeks, Jennifer. I'm sorry. She didn't scream. She didn't cry. She simply nodded and went back to her cell to count the remaining 336 hours of her life. 3 days later, on visitation day, a guard called her name. Jennifer hadn't had a visitor in over 2 years. She walked into the room expecting a mistake and froze. There sat Emily, now 15, taller, more beautiful than memory allowed, eyes red from crying the entire bus ride from another state. They stared at each other across the cold metal table. "I know you didn't do it, Mom," Emily said, voice breaking. "I never stopped knowing." From her small purse, she pulled out a delicate rosary, light blue glass beads glowing under the harsh lights, a simple silver cross. "I pray this for you every single night. To the Virgin Mary. I asked her to protect you, to bring the truth." Jennifer had abandoned God years ago. Faith felt like a cruel joke inside these walls. But looking at her daughter's trembling hands, she reached out and closed her fingers around the beads. "For you," she whispered. "I'll keep it for you." They spoke of ordinary things: school, guitar lessons, a new family dog, pretending for 20 precious minutes that they were just like any other mother and daughter. When the guard ended the visit, Emily asked, "Can I hug you?" The embrace lasted only seconds, but Jennifer memorized every second of it. Back in her cell, the countdown resumed. 12 days, 10, 7. With 3 days left, Jennifer stopped the kindest guard on the block. "Donna, I have one last request. I know it's unusual, but could I spend a few minutes in the prison chapel just to see the statue of the Virgin Mary?" Donna, who had seen hundreds face their final walk, was stunned. No one had ever asked for that. She made it happen. The next morning, Jennifer was led into the tiny, forgotten chapel. Dust danced in the pale light. In the front of her stood a simple plaster statue, blue mantle, gentle face, arms open in eternal welcome. Alone for the first time in years, Jennifer sat in the front pew, rosary wound tightly around her fingers. "I don't even know how to pray anymore," she whispered to the silence. "I'm not asking for a miracle. I'm not asking to live. Just please take away the fear. That's all I have left to ask." Tears came then, silent, unstoppable. She bowed her head and let 6 years of pain pour out. That night, her very last night, Jennifer lay on her cot at 2 a.m., wide awake, strangely calm. Suddenly, the freezing cell grew warm, as if someone had wrapped her in the softest blanket. A golden light, tender and alive, blossomed in the corner. She sat up, heart pounding. There, inside the light, stood a woman in a white dress and blue mantle. Her face held more love than Jennifer had ever seen in a human lifetime. No words were spoken, yet Jennifer heard them clearly in her soul. I am with you. You are not alone. The air filled with the intense, impossible fragrance of fresh roses, hundreds of them, though not a single flower existed in that concrete box. Jennifer fell to her knees, sobbing, as every ounce of bitterness, rage, and despair lifted from her shoulders like smoke vanishing into sunlight. The light slowly faded, but the warmth and the scent of roses stayed with her. At 5 a.m., the morning guard stopped in confusion. Walsh, why does your cell smell like a garden? Jennifer only smiled, a real smile, the first in 6 years. Hours later, minutes before she was to be walked to the execution chamber, the warden herself came running, face pale. Stop everything. Another nurse, Catherine Morris, just confessed. She gave the wrong medication that night in 2018, panicked, altered the records, and let you take the blame. She brought irrefutable evidence. The governor has stayed the execution. You're going home, Jennifer. You're innocent. Jennifer sank to the floor, clutching the little blue rosary, and wept, not from sorrow this time, but from a joy too vast for words. 20 days later, she walked out of prison a free woman, straight into Emily's arms. Months after her release, on a golden spring afternoon, Jennifer and Emily were strolling through a park. Jennifer suddenly stopped beside a flower bed bursting with soft pink roses. She closed her eyes and breathed in. That same heavenly fragrance filled her lungs. A single tear slid down her cheek as she smiled up at the sky and whispered, "Thank you, Mother." Some miracles arrive with thunder and lightning. Others arrive on the quiet faith of a 15-year-old girl and a little blue rosary that refused to let go. If this story stirred your soul, type in the comments, "Blue Rosary, a daughter's faith, a mother's miracle." And may the Virgin Mary walk with you, especially in your darkest nights. Amen.